Alexa. Lower. I'll just do it. Right. Ready to rumble. Ooh. That's me coming chair. La 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 la. Something wrong with this blooming phone. What's going on? What's going on with this at all? Right. Come on. Get in there. Yeah, come on. Oh, blooming heck. Oh, get in, results. I'm on. Got something to say there, I don't know about that. I'll have to review that. Oh, come on, plug it. Gotcha. Oh, it's not that one. I thought I'd show you one of my little books. Not great, it's one of my little doodle books. Oh, it's nice paper. Oh my goodness me, I didn't know I had all these. There's some stamps that I've done. Oh. Gloss on it. Showing you how to do that. Wash. Oh, here's my flowers ready to stamp. Oh, ready to colour. No, they're not mine. They're Janini's. This is mine. That needs work on it. That's nice. That's really nice. I like that. It's pretty, isn't it? And then I've got some random messy bits done. Sunshine. Ordered these ages ago. When I find bits of paper, I just shove them in my book, and then I think, where's my bit of paper gone? This one is my doodles, my merry doodles, so I love this little book, and this is 1 minute drawings, and I mean 1 minute. You know, different shapes, the worst pen to use, dandelion leaves, and if you notice, I've washi taped. My idea is from Johnny Sharp, that's not mine. So washi tape the edges so that you can just, then pen strokes, cabbage rolls, flowers and roses and poppies and drawings it really easy. Then colours, text, different sorts, some of them's rubbish, but some of it's meant to be like this because that's what I want. I picked this up as I go along. I love that text. I really do like that text. This is calligraphy rubbish stuff that I do. And these are really lovely. I love these. These are watercolours, and I love matching the colours up. This is especially pretty. And then I do some calligraphy on it. The language of flowers. Then some banners. So there's all sorts in here, but each one has a different sort of, and I'll go to it when I think, oh yeah, I like that, that's a mop-up. So I thought you might like to see, that's how that starts. There's my little cactus. Flowers, we're just using the what you call it, I've got the brush that I'm using. Bloom and grow. I really like this, but I like this, how this goes in here. So I've got about 30 of these, maybe more, knocking about. And I do a lot of them. I love them because when you're not around and I want to draw, which is work and play, so to speak, I want to do a little bit of both. I want to do some work, but I want to do, in the next couple of days, you know what I want to do? I want to do colour mixing, but go for it. Because I've got all these colours and I want to try them out. I want to see like what my shades of nature look like. You know, I've got and I've got pinks and purples and muted colours that I used the muted yesterday. I've got another one somewhere, but yeah, you know, and I made these myself. Oh, is it stuck? And I love this, but then I love adding colours to it. Why do we do that? Well, I don't like to think using the same colours out of the pan. Like this one is the one I used yesterday, and I showed Mark that, and he was like, wow, I really like that. And that was very much like people were saying yesterday, like Rachel and, you know, other people. I only caught little bits. It's not that I'm ignoring you, but I only saw a few. That it was more like an architectural drawing, and I absolutely love that style. So yeah, and it's really good when people say that, because if that's what I'm trying to sort of get over, then it makes sense that I'm doing it. So I'll just say a quick hello to everybody. Hello Louise, Marcia, Janice, Trisha, Dawn, Jane, Jan, Sue, Linda, Susan, Marie, Linda, Julie, Kim, Sally, Linda, Sylvia, Jackie, Marcia, Malcolm, Jan, yeah, Jan, absolutely, Michelle, we've got people talking, so I'm not being rude, but I don't want to keep shouting people's names. Yeah, I totally agree. The washi tape keeps the edges nice. It's a lovely thing. It's not my idea. It's not my idea. Can I just also say thank you very much, because you stood by me. It's been a horrible time for me, and I'm not, you know, I don't want to say anymore, but I want to say thank you. I think you know what I'm talking about. You supported me. I want to do so much more for you now, though. I want to take this further, and it's almost like I want to forget about everything and just take us all on this little like journey of discovery, and we're not bothered with other people, and we're not taken in to people's arguments or drawn into crap where we're just us and we're doing what we want and how we want it, and we're doing it for the right reasons and not for the reasons of, you know, as I've been accused of using my fame, which I haven't got, to destroy people or whatever. So thank you. Anyway, I shouldn't really be saying crap like that. Not crap, but you know what I mean. It's not crap, but you know what I mean, don't you? And I think it's been a big part in my recovery, recovery of self-awareness, recovery of last few years of finding that I can do something. So thank you very much, everybody. It is Malcolm, totally. I just hope that, you know, I just want you all to share this, and I want it to be like a moodling community, and just, excuse my language, everybody else, do you know what I mean? Not nastily, just we do what we do, and we do it really well. Because I want to sort of bring in spiritualism, but not so that it's like a deity. I want it to be more like mood. Absolutely, Linda. Hi, Caroline. Hello, Julie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what we're going to do is, I've got a page here. I found a page in my book, and I'm looking at what I want to do, and I've got all sorts of, I remember doing that, and I really enjoyed that. that landscape. It really sort of resonated with me, that landscape there. Do you remember when I was doing all the different shapes of trees? I thought that was really... I think I'd like to do something like that. Right, okay. Let's take... Oh, look how arthritic my fingers are now. Oh, look. Turning into my man. Got a choice, okay? We can do landscape or fantasy. So, thank you, Wendy. We are friends. We're all friends. Life's hard enough, innit? I'm not calling anyone off, and I don't do crap like that. And as for me using other people to get famous, well, I'd never ever dream of doing that. So let's do landscape. Debbie says landscape, a tree with lots of leaves. Fantasy. Dawn's got her harvest, fantasy. Right, fantasy it is. Let's go for it. How about this, guys? How about this for you? I've got my page here. Oh, do you know what? Look. I've been out today. Let me show you. I'm going to get some more because I think, you know what we did just today with our little thing? I think it looked nice in that. It's £1.50 that frame. I don't so much like the colour of that, but that could be easily changed. And this is £2.50. So I was quite happy with it. Oh, okay. Was that quite... What? Oh, I've dipped it in my bloody paint. Oh, sorry. Right. And I've been out this morning. Right, what's happened is, I can't go into details because it's not fair, but basically I've had no car for a month, right? I've got a car, but I can't use it because someone else needs my car, so I've not had a car. So this morning, because I needed to try and get some stuff and try and sort out some stuff, I got the car. So I went out, and on the way home, I went into the range, and I got that. It don't come like that. You unpack it, right? And it's great because I'm forever. Now, not many people use fat brushes like that. So, but it's all of them. Look, all my good ones. You can let them dry properly now like that. Look at that. You can get 3 or 4 in one. Isn't that good? And I'm not worried now because if you start putting good brushes in pots and leaving them the other wrong way, you'll knacker them. How much? Are you ready? How much for that? Right? You get loads in it. It's great for transporting them as well. Guess how much? £1.50. £1.50 for that. So I was like, whoa! And then I went and got some watercolour paper. I'm going to test it. 24 sheets at 180 GSM, and it's got a really textural feel on one side, smooth on the other. I don't know what it's like. £3.50. Bargain, Tracy. It's a bargain. Tracy Spurgeon is, when I was doing my silver clay, and I must have made, go and have a look at her work. She's a silver artist, silver clay artist, jeweller, absolutely stunning. Go and have a look at her work. She does some amazing courses. I did my level 1 and 2 with her, and I've still got all that now. But Tracy, go and have a look at her work if you like silver clay. She's like one at best either, and she's really, when you teach with her. When you go have a class with Tracy, I can honestly say that she's so well respected everywhere that they know, whoever looks at your qualifications knows that you've got a good qualification. Anyway, shut up with us. So here we've got 28 and a bit, so that's 14 and a bit. I've got traditional Chinese music on in the background, so hopefully. I love it because it's not what our ears are used to. Right, so I'm going to divide this into 4, and there is a reason. 19, so that's 9, isn't it? 9.5. I was reading, because one of my favourite books, well, there's a lot of how he sort of basically, I'm not getting into politics of it, but basically there's a lot of politics to it. So, but I'm very much interested in it, and I'm very much in 9.5, 19. I'm very much into other people's history. And now we really have got to sort of make sure that we don't lose these wonderful skills that we have. Whatever skills that need to be passed down. And some of them was like obviously run of the mill and all that. And then others, it was quite scary because it was like Sada Abba. And that was like, whoa, scary, because that's quite a lady. So I'm just going to do this at 9.5 here. Yeah, she's quite a lady. But Japanese that. But yeah, it's very interesting looking at other people's cultures. That don't look square. Sorry, just ignore me now. Right, oh, hang on, this is square. So half of that is 9.5. So 9.5 there would be there. You're right, I'm right there, it's not right. 9.5 is there. That's better. Right. I've also, between you and me, I've got this thing from Amazon. They've asked me to be I don't know, an influencer. I don't know what the hell that means. I hope it sounds like some sort of drug thing, doesn't it? An influencer. And what I thought was right, I don't know what people are talking about. Something about 9 buses and... Alright, okay, you can get a lot of stuff online. Yeah, I've got dishwasher. Great, because you can just take it all off that and take it with me. So... I really like that. You can get other things, of course you can. I'm not saying I know where to get everything. I'm just saying it's an idea I've got. I don't... Do you know what it reminds me of? I've got to tell you, it's just making me laugh this. It's like, well, I can get that, I can do that, I can do that, and I can get mine back. And it's not, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, like, I've got a really good bargain, I'm excited with it, but it doesn't mean that anybody else has to get it. Right, so I've left 2 parts here because what I thought we could do is change colour. How about that? So, if we do something quite big, but then change the colour in it so we get a feel. This harks back to, I mean, I'm not going to go into detail because you paid for it, but this harks back very much to our very first little journey on level 1, at the watercolour sort of experience. So it's very much a layering sort of. No, I'm just going to go for it. Don't. And thank you very much to people for looking out for me. You know, people are sort of saying, oh, I've seen something that's very similar. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that because I know you're looking out for me. I do. It means a lot. Right, okay, so here I've got this, which is annoying. But there's not a lot I can do apart from get my end really big like that and then just go for it. See, I can do that, that's pretty good, isn't it? But you need it in the right space. So basically, Right, okay. Something beautiful about this music. I'm not saying that everybody will like it, but just something very tranquil and thoughtful. And if you ever watch Chinese calligraphers, every single stroke that they do has meaning. And it's beautiful to watch, it really is. Everything that they do has a meaning. Right, so let's go for it, shall we? Let's go for it. Sorry, a minute, wait. So here, what I'm going to do is just change the shapes up a bit. I'm going to put one of these squares. In the live yesterday, I did put the link to this, so if people missed it, I'll put another link up. There we go. And these are all now, every day, you're going to get a new upload on my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is called LuTube. Not Lube, Lou. I've had lots of problems with that one. It was predicted text. And I can't get rid of it now, and I've got another channel called LubeTube. I've got about 900 million hits on that. Yeah, I wonder why. Right, I'm keeping everything quite angular, and not because I'm being anal or anything, but just because I want the sort of the mixture to be apparent. So I'm just sticking to circles and squares because. And then I'm looking at where they mix, and I'm just going to go for something here. I don't even know what I'm doing. Right, so that looks crazy mad, I know. So if you look at it, I've got a set of 4, okay, and each one's got a circle or circles in it, or a square. So this one, right, and then I've got a circle here. So I don't have to have that circle in it. Do you know what I mean? I can take out areas. I can't find my whizzy thing, so. But what I will do is add some, but not all of them. You see, I like this shape rather than that shape, so I'm just going to get rid of that one. Oh. And now I've got to look to see which one I want of that one. Do I want that underneath that or over? I'm going to go with underneath and let that next one. I nearly bought another one of these because I've cut this one up. I think this needs another one, and so does that. Just choose where you want. You might want the square to come in, and if you do, let's have a look what it looks like. So the square coming in onto that might make a difference. Let me see. See, if I do that, that will, you see, you've got to think about layers now, and that's pretty good when you're concentrating on a composition, because what you might think, oh yeah, that'll work, actually, it's a bit like when you're doing a stencil. You've got to remember that the stencil has to have this on it, because otherwise it'll just be a big shape. So see, every one of these now, here, and here, and here, it's going to be a different colour. I think this is a really good exercise in watercolour management, or pen, colour, pencil, you name it, whatever you've got there to hand. And I like the idea of these little squares here will be like layer in layer. You know, like oh, sorry, I won't go into detail because that was a class, sorry. But I will at some point. So here I'm just going to go in with a square to knock that down a bit. Yeah, I like that. Get there? Anyway, so I went to Old Bargains and I got lots of bits, and I got beautiful I can't remember where else. Anyway, I went and I was like, right, I've got to get home. Got to get back. And do you know what? It was so nice. It's the first time I've been out properly for since I went down to Achanda. That's how scary it is. I don't want to develop any anxiety. I mean, I've got enough anxiety now as it is. So I don't want to get any more. The anxiety that I feel though is very much kept in check with CBT. I do practice CBT. I just think it's really important that our ways of dealing with it. But I was talking to somebody, and it's very important to know that when you're dealing with anything that's like mental health or in any way, that you need to know that it's not one size fits all. There's something very, very important, and that is that you have to make sure that it's like a prescription. It's tailor-made, and CBT is the same. So what suits me may not suit anyone else. And there's Stoicism as well, which is it's not a religion. Well, I suppose it all depends on where you come from and what you think. Well, it could be seen as a way of life, or you know, but it's just to not allow things that you have no control over to control you. So, you know, there's certain things in your life that you have no control over, but we allow them, don't we? We allow them to take control and make us worry about it. Well, why? Why do we allow that? So it's things like that. Anyway, I've got quite a nice shape now. If you remember what we did yesterday, if you was on, we did a lot of muted pat. Where's my blooming book gone? I did it in the all, didn't I? Where's the all gone? Oh, I've only been sat here, haven't I? How can I lose something when I'm sat here? Oh, where are you? There she is. Right, let me just explain what I mean. I loved doing this yesterday. There's something very cathartic about it. Sorry if I'm missing anybody that's saying hello, sorry. Yes, you can get £1 from Asda. You get 10 in a pack. Yeah, I don't get cheap dear ones. I get cheap ones. They just work better in the office. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm saying hello to everybody. Do you know what? Wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely if, when we were allowed to, if we could meet somewhere? Wouldn't it be lovely? Why don't we have a Zoom? I keep saying it when I'm having a Zoom. I've not seen Philippa today. I hope she's all right. And Denise, where are they? Oh, it's awful, isn't it? A panic attack. I tell you what, it's blooming painful. I didn't realise how painful. I know it sounds daft. If you've never had a panic attack, it's blooming frightening and painful, because you think, and it's just so real. You think a panic attack can't feel like that, can't feel real. Oh my God, does it? That's just me. But it scared the life out of me. Anyway, let's think. Let's think about the things we've got control in our life. Right, we're controlled by having to be perfect. Well, today we're not going to be perfect. We're controlled with having to do certain things. No, you don't have to. When you do something like that, you're really upsetting yourself. So why don't you do? One trick I do is I have a list of things. So I know I had to go shopping. So let's think, shopping. So what did I need? Toilet rolls. How many have I got? Got 3 left. So I do need them. Washing up liquid, how much have I got? And I went through it. And, you know, and I'm saying like, dusting. Okay. what do I really have to do today that's really important out of all my list, and then I do them, and then the next day you do the ones that you put second on your list, so you eventually get through everything. Oh yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it? I like the idea of a Zoom. Do you? Yeah, Michael, I start to chat to myself. I go, yes, absolutely. It's an horrible feeling, isn't it? Anyway. So I prioritised then, and I did the lovely Tamara Laporte, her husband Andy. He did a session called Finding Your True North, and it was wonderful. I loved it. I really loved it, and it helped me sort of perceive things my way with his interpretation. Oh, that makes sense. Right, well, Sue, you need to do this. You need to do this. My 5-year-old floored me this morning, but I got up. Get up, do it, honestly. Just get up. Don't be a victim to it. You are in charge of it. I know sometimes I can't walk, but I am not allowing that to stop me from walking. I know I'm not the same as everybody else, and I agree. I can keep my mouth shut, and it's not fair. Who do I think I am? But my honest opinion for me is that I can't allow myself to be, I just can't allow myself to go through that. I've got to get something done, so I don't allow it. I'm not saying it always works. That's fine though, Debbie. When you come in, like, I'm going to go in the room for a bit after this, in my room. I know other people have got their rooms, but that's great. You don't have to put your picture on, you know. You don't have to put your picture on. You can just be lurking. I know, Sue. I'm not saying that to say you should. What I'm saying is, exactly, you're in control. You know, don't forget that, because it's dead easy when you're feeling crap with fibro or any other thing that you've got. It's very easy, isn't it? I have to sort of stop myself. Like the last few weeks I wanted to give up, but I had to stop myself from sitting there being a mad ass licking my wounds, and I had to get on with it. And you know, really is important that you do that. Really is important. So let's look at the shapes we've got. So we've got shapes. Now, this is what I often do to sort of get prioritised in my head. So shapes and colours and patterns, words and music. Now, Jackson Pollock, I'll just put his name there. Jackson Pollock, please look at, I think it's called Rhythm. I want to just look at his painting called Rhythm, right? And you understand why. And he just does paints like throws them on like that, but you can see that he was doing it to music. So even if you don't like his work, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about understanding why they do stuff, and perhaps we're understanding our own actions through our artwork. So, you know, there's a reason why I choose these shapes and these colours, and that's really just as important as, you know, using shapes, colours, patterns, words, music. An artist's inspiration work really helps me, like Georgia O'Keeffe with the flowers, because I am quite a feminist in a sort of closed way, a private way, but I do have sort of, my great grandma was a suffragette, and you know, and I have got travellers in my family, so I'm from a travelling family, hence my name. So these are all things that make me who I am, and these all have a basic input into this. And I very much think that when you look at your work, you do that as well, and it allows all these things to come out. And then Nobody needs to know what you're talking about. Nobody needs to know anything. It's in your work. It's private. So what we could do is we look at the shapes, the colours, the patterns, words, texture, and we could have denote or keep certain elements for each square. So if we wanted to do it like the main one you'd look at is seasonal, isn't it? So if we look at seasonal things, we look at, say, green for spring, because colour denotes, it has a meaning, doesn't it? Green with envy, green as grass, spring green. So, right? So if we say blue, what do we think? We usually think winter, don't we? And then we come connotations, blue, feeling down, low, lonely, all these connotations. So it's it can be quite a negative thing, but you turn it round by doing Christmas, which is not a negative thing for everybody. It's not for everybody. As you know, I don't celebrate it, but it has those, nice bright feelings of, perhaps at times when you did enjoy it. So then we'll have, let's go for yellow. Well, yellow, all those hot colours. Well, my name with it is because of the horse factor. But yeah, go back, man, French Roman is years ago. Yeah, you can probably tell as well, because they have a look, we have a look. You can tell there's a look of us. But yeah, you can tell with my dad especially. So yellow is, to me, it's sun. Yeah, and we've got browns, which are autumn. But in between this, we've got orange and red, and each one could have a bit of red and a bit of orange in it, just like each one of the blue. The colour wheel, you think about it, it's the colour wheel. So when you do your colour wheel and you've got your yellow, your red and your blue, you think your orange, and you've got your violet, green. Oh no, well, I've done it wrong, haven't I? Yellow and blue is green, silly cow, violet and orange, right? So then you've got your tertiaries after that. So if you think that it's like Mother Nature's a clock, it's a circle, it's like never ending, cyclical, and then all these colours fit into the cyclical thing with colours and meaning. It's all to do with, like, comes back to nature. Then if you think about it that way, we often try and interrupt. And interrupting is, because it's never ending a circle, and a square's never ending, but it's got edges, hasn't it? So it's got sides to it, it's got limits, so it interrupts. So if you think about that, it's all, this is how I used to teach art, to get kids inspired. So they'd go and look at an artist who just studied yellows and oranges, or an artist who studied colours, but like Picasso's blue period and stuff like that. And it really gets interesting. Anyway, it'd be great if I could do like an online GCSE. I'm pretty certain someone would come on it. So what we're going to do is we could do a seasonal just to make it easy. So if we think, where does your season begin? Does your season begin in winter, spring, summer, autumn? Now you'd be surprised, because some people might love autumn the best, so they put autumn here. But either way, it will come back on itself in that colour wheel. So let's look at that. Yeah, very, 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 very different. I'm a gypsy. I'm not a well, the family are gypsies, Romanis. You'll know what I mean, Sue. You'll know exactly what I mean. Don't want to go into too much detail because each to their own. So I'll probably get slagged off for that as well. Right, so here we're going to look at connotations. So winter is such, we'll have blues and stuff on here. Then here we're going to have spring. So we're going to go to greens and a nice pop of colours that Mother Nature brings popping up through the ground. Then we'll have the full bloom of summer when you've got those hot colours and, you know, you've got all these swathes of colour in gardens or lush like fabrics or beautiful saris and beautiful dresses and stuff. And then we'll go to autumn, which is absolutely stunning because that's when you'll get one tree that's got like 9 or 10 different colours. I hope I've not been a bit arty-farty today. If I haven't, very sorry. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is just basically moodle with colour today. I'm going to do some work later, but it's going to be moodling with colour. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet down, I'm going to use my colours that I've got, and I'm going to wet down my circle. Now, don't forget, you know, I only have an hour and a half or 2 hours every day. And I'd love to be able to sort of say, oh, I can teach you all that, but I obviously can't. So for that reason, you know, I can't always do exactly the same, but this is more of what I would say an art lesson on colour or mood or moodling. So you can just see where I've just wet. Don't wet anywhere. If you want to use a masking fluid, which I should have really, use a masking fluid. So here I'm going to go in and I've got some blues here. And I've got this beautiful blue, and it is it's the wrong way around this. Why is that the wrong way around? Right, sorry that it's the wrong way, it's fallen, they must have fallen out. So I've got 2 blues, I've got, oh, you see, that's a paint grey, which is not a blue, but it is along those lines. See? And then we've got next to it the blue. So the blue there, we don't need much with it, but the other blue I've got is a very, without being rude, that's a man-made colour straight away because it's got more opacity to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just drop in I'm using a number 4 brush. Oh, no, number 6. This is a Royal Talons one, and I'm just going to do the edge. Now, if I was to cut this up into 4 different images, this would be great in one of my little frames. Right, if you've got a little bit there, use your paintbrush to clean it up. Put the edge on, just do the line, just draw the line in with the paint. I'm using watercolour paper from Pink Pig, which I highly recommend. Dropping the colour in. Right, so what I've done is, it's quite a lot of colour. It's quite heavy, but I want this to be quite prominent. Move the colour around with your paintbrush. Allow areas to be darker than others. And straight away we're starting to get this to look 3-dimensional. So we've already got, you know, that looks quite 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the same, but I'm only going to use a wash of it. So if I just show you that I've got the colour on here, but I'm just going to put a tiny wash. I don't want it to be too dark because I'm just going to drop in some layers of colour so that this colour is going to be the same colour, it's just going to have layers. And if I want, you can get rid of that very dark bit there. Or the other thing you can do is just drop in another bit like that. So the next colour, I'm going to use the same colour, but in a watercolour-y way. Same colour. And each time I've used it, I've not added anything else. All I've done is add what's on the brush. So I'm getting all these different sort of shades happening. That's better. There we go. Right, okay, so dropping those all one colour. I'm not doing any other colour with it. Now what I'm going to do is I've got a Chinese white, and that is the name of it. I've just added a tiny bit of Chinese white, and you can tell straight away it's changed it. Get it? Add a little bit more. So again, the colour is the same colour, just adding white. So this is a monochromatic feel to it. So each one of these can be slightly coloured any way you want. If you want a tiny bit, we'll go for the other blue, just to give it a little bit more of a contrast now. I don't want too much, so I'm just going to pop that there. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, it was lovely to get out, and I went round all my old aunts, not my aunts, but where I used to live. It's all changed now, where Shameless was filmed. And then, you know, it was like quite emotional, to say the least. It's quite weird going round there. And it was the kids I saw growing up with me. Their kids have now got kids, and it was just, whoa, how scary is that? That really was scary, and it looks a right dump. You know, they keep doing that, don't they? Keep doing that. So here we've got the blues. Now I'm going to set up on the green. So in this colour, I've got all sorts of greens. I've got shades of nature here, which is predominantly green. So you could go with predominantly greens. I've got those muted shades. So let's have a quick look at what happens to these when... where's my colour chart? I haven't got a clue. So, right, okay, so here we've got shades of nature, which will be these greens here, I think. So let's have a quick look. Right, to me, I need this one as well, because that's, just to explain, it's very, very muted, and I want a bit more. So I've dropped in a bit of colour. You can use anything you want. I'm using the studio light ones as well. I'll be getting them out. So just, it's because I'm upstairs and I haven't got the others. The others are downstairs, so I tend to use what I've got on hand. But that means you can use whatever you want. Please don't just follow me for the sake of it. So here I'm going to drop in a little bit of the warm. It's quite cool this, so I'm adding a little bit of warm, and this is called a yellow gold, yellow green. So I'm just going to cover that there, bring that out there, and watercolour it in. And by watercolouring it in, I mean I'm just going to drop a muted tone in. Right, so that's quite muted now, and I want to, you know, zizz it up a bit. So I'm going to go in with a brighter green now, and I'm just going to get this mixed, because when you look at spring and the colours, the sort of bright greens popping out from all like in my garden. I've got crow crossmeres, and the crow crossmeres are dyed back, and then I've got little crocuses emerging from those stems, so it's like bursts of colour. I'm not a lover of that one, so I might just add a little bit of, what other colours have I got? Let's see what this is. That's a bit too dark. That's nicer. It's more colour. What's that there for? Right here, I've got a yellowy green, just watering that down. Let's have a look at the other greens I've got. That's better. So this and this are fighting now, can you see? So I'm going to tone it down. So I'm taking the yellow, the Chinese white, and then mixing it on the paper. That's better. It's not the right colour. You'll notice when you're working that you think, no, that's not right. I really don't like that. I really don't like that. And that's good, because that means that you're beginning to understand what you do and don't like. You know what I should have done, you silly woman? Let's just have a look. I like that. It's a nice one. This is it. I thought it was Naples yellow, but it's not. This one might be Naples yellow. Soft grey, it's beautiful, isn't it? I think that's a neutral tone. There we go. So now look at that, and I've used this green, and that's still fighting for me. So what I need to do is look and think, right, well, I've either got to change that case of adding a little, now that works, you see, because now I'm adding a bit of warmth to it. Now it works. Right, so now I'm going to add in here some more of these. Now I'm going to go with green and yellow, so just going to add, let's see, look what there, bleeding. Get up my mop. That's better. And then I think I'll do a quite muted. They're not. You could use really bright colours for this. Colours that pop, but I just think it's sometimes nice to just watch somebody like work slightly different than what you're used to, and then you think, oh, right, okay, well, I never thought I'd see that, but you know, it's that's good. That's really good because it just gives you another. It just gives you another sort of vibe to it and another feeling. Right, just hang on, I need to go and get my paint because I can't just use these. Come on with us. Oh, where are you? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, anywhere. Oh, for crying out loud. Where have you gone? You can't be far. Hey! Got him! I found him! Right, okay. I've got him now. Right, sorry about that. Of course I've used them. Of course I've used my Paul Rubens paints, my specialist ones. Right, so can you see? Oh, hey, stuck to it. So, you know, just because I was downstairs, I was being really, oh, I love that. Because I was downstairs, I was being really lazy by not coming back up. So I'm just going to drop in, that's better. I'm happier now, a little bit of harmony. That's better, that's much better. And then I'm going to drop in a bit of this, which is called growth. Oh, that's quite apt, isn't it? And then that's a nice mixture. I'm going to change this up a little bit because I think it needs a little bit more yellow and less sort of that's better, a bit more bright. I think what I would do is just connect bit more yellow, but using it quite neat and like that. That's nice. It's like sun yellow, isn't it? Beautiful. So here I'm going to drop in. I'm going to dip in with some yellows. And when you're using any colour, make sure that you don't forget that you can use the different strengths, as in washes. So use the same yellow, but just a different wash colour of it, like with more water or a medium, will change it completely. It really does change it. So, you know, don't be frightened of doing that. Put in like a bright orange now. I'm using creativity and I can't remember the other one, it's got a different name. But just by putting this in here, but you do whatever colours you want. It's just a nice way of chilling. I mean, it's difficult every day to come up with something new. It's like teaching a brand new lesson every day. But I enjoy it. It's just that sometimes we just need to get back to basics and think, right, okay, well today I'm just going to look at colour. And I'm looking at shape. And then, you know, it comes to it, you might want to sort of say, oh, well, I want to put flowers on this. Well, go for it. Go for it. I love the idea of having a bit of, you know, obviously putting your own interpretation. That's so important. So a little bit of red here. Not so much that it's good. I'm just putting a little bit on the brush and then allowing whatever's on the brush to so if I drop in a little bit more of the magenta, whilst it's wet, and get some shading that way. You can keep doing that until you're happy with the shading that way. Okay, so we've got some other colours here. That orange looks a bit flat, so I'm just going to drop in some red just to lift it. That's better. Just to lift it a little bit better. And all that is the same yellow. So we've got reds and yellows and all sorts of colours going on in here. So if we look at this one now, we need something to sort of, in between them all, we could use a pink. I think I might go with a pink. Let's see what happens. Why don't you just dip it in the water instead of faffing? I'm sat here like thinking, why there's no paint on my brush? It's because I've not put it in the water. Absolute idiot. See, this is working with the red and it's working with the orange, but what I do need to do is just put a little bit in the orange, and it's already now working because it's in there. You don't need a lot. You just need enough colour so that it looks like it's all part of it. So here we've got the blues and the greens. What I might do is add a little bit of the, oh no, I know what colour. A little bit of the freedom. So it's bluey grey, and then while it's like that, I'll just drop in a little bit of calming it. And the reason I've done that is because it's muted the same. Do you know what I mean? It's set it back. No, I haven't done the canvas course yet. Whenever you're ready, I'm going to see what happens this week, but it'll probably be in a couple of weeks. Just to see what's going on, because I'm not too sure what's going on with the Chandy yet. I've not heard back, so I don't know what's going on. Right. I just add a bit there, a wash, not too much. So it's sort of looking like it could be part of it. And then here we can go straight in now with all colours you've got. You've got like your siennas, your terracottas, all these different colours. You've got your warm browns, your cool browns. Show you what I mean. This is a very warm brown, so this looks nice here. And then here we've got some really cool browns. And these are very much muted and more tonally, like greys and stuff. Although not greys, And then we've got a really dark one, which is stunning. So we'll just put it here. This is like an umber. You don't need a lot of this because it's a very strong colour and you don't want it overtaking everything. So little bits make enough. So I'm just going to drop that around there. And then allow that to just... So I'm using a mixture of paints. I'm using Van Gogh and... Oh, that's quite nice. Now this is bleeding a bit, but I quite like that. I don't think there's... It's not offending me in any way. So I'm going to look at some oranges now and then put the oranges with the brown so that we've got a cross. Now the orange as its own there is way too much for me anyway. So if I just bring that across, blend it in. And then what I'm going to do is drop in the warmth. So I've knocked that orange back a bit. It's still orange, but it's more muted. And then I need to clean this up in a bit. So, excuse me, the top. That's it. I didn't want it to go any further, it was going a bit too far for me. See this here? We need to bring in a colour here. So we're looking at a colour now that is going to be muted like this, but not boring. Because I think this is quite a nice one. Because you can cover a large area. Put a bit of the grey back into it now from the... I've got two browns here, you see. Now this is only your background, don't forget. This isn't the finished piece. So what you'd be doing then is you'd be working on this with other colours, so, and all your patterning. Can't do it all though, 2 hours, in an hour and a bit. Tomorrow I'm doing a full with my butterfly collection, so if you want to join us, it'll be on my page, but it'll be through like Studio Light as well. Andrew is doing one after me, and if you want to see them on the Rachel and Liz have both done fantastic workshops for us using Studio Light. They call it Shenanigans. So if you've bought the product and you want to see how we've used it, it's a great tool for sort of backing up your memory, new ideas, possible, right, come on with this, new ideas and possible. Like what I call anger appeal, isn't it? You look at it and you think, that looks awful. But it's because a lot of eyes were looking at it with maybe what it looks like. It's a bit like when you go and buy a house and you say, oh, I don't like that carpet. You're not buying the carpet, you're buying what the carpet's on. You're not buying the carpet. So you've got to try and get past that idea of you know, seeing past it and seeing as an end where you're going to go with it. I really love this. Now this one, it needs this grey. Now this needs a... That's it. You can do whatever you want while you're watching. You can do whatever you want while you're watching. Well, within reason. I'm just going to put, I think what I'll do in this one is, I don't want it to go too dark because I'm conscious that, so I've got this little bit of colour here that I've mixed with the two. And because I know that I've already got those colours on, I'm going to start dark here. Oh, that's a bit too similar. And then let's see what happens. Oh, I like it. It's just tamed it down a little bit, hasn't it? So you've got lots of choice, lots of choice. You don't need to do anything I've done. If some of it here is annoying you, go back over it with, like me, I need a bit of brightness in this now because some of it is a bit too muted. So I think in areas, not all over, just in areas like the yellow and the orange are nice for me there. I quite like them. I don't want to do much. Those two are nice, I like them. But what I might do is just drop a little bit of colour in here. Just not a lot, don't want a lot. And then in here, I think this needs to have a bit more brightness. It's tending to look a bit better. Yeah, I like that better. I'm going to go for a really bright green now. Yeah, that's better. But it wouldn't look the same if it didn't have the yellow underneath. So even though you think, oh, well, why did you put the yellow on? Actually, you put the yellow on because it's a really good base. So regardless of what you think, you know, like you get some people like, I don't understand, why do people do that? Well, there is a reason. And it's all about layers. I need to just pop a bit of colour on that now. I'll put that much colour on there, it's going that much on there, it looks too much over the top. But if I was to show you now somewhere that is dry, let's go with something that's dry, not many places. It's dry. Turn it round so. So all I'm doing is dots, circles and dashes. And then we've made a lovely pattern. Very simple pattern, nothing to shout out about. And then like a pattern on the edge there, which we can just put a pattern in like that, and that's got a pattern for each side. So we've got pattern happening there and there, but what we need to do is make sure that that is divided from that with a line. See how the lines really make a difference now. And I mean, I didn't go over in pen because I weren't too sure, but going over in pen really does. I weren't too sure about my lines, you see, that's why. going over in pen really does bring out those wonderful shapes. So here I'm just going to draw like that, simple lines, and then I can just put so we've got dingly danglies there. If you want to just put a dingle, that dangle, half a shape, you see how the patterns now really build up, you know, and a lot of these are still wet, so you just put in here, if you want to, you just put your shapes in first. Now use your stencil if you wish, like that, and then get doodling. There you go. So can you see it's now it's all about you adding what you want to it. So all the things that we've done, all the moodles can now be added to this. So we've got that, and then we can do like that. So it's pattern now on top. This is the bit I really love doing this, because there's no rhyme or reason, yes or no, or wrong or right. You just, it's very wet that bit. You just go with what you want to do. If you've got dodgy lines, make them into something. That's quite nice. So we've got another line here. This is a little bit wet, so we can do, drop this line in here and just put it's a copy of that one up there. So maybe if I look at this and just put we're doing dangles. So we've got some dingle dangles there. I hope that makes sense to you. So all the lessons we've had, all the doodles we've done we can now put these into practice so that they're not, you know, they're all, everything that we've done is here. We've just changed it now and put colour down first in a muted form, and then here we've gone on with colours, but these could be, you know, as bright as you want. They don't have to be these colours. They can be as boring as you want or as bright. It's up to you. And then you can just put patterns in and moodles. So There we go. So I've done something slightly different in that box, a bit like writing. So that's what happens when you get your stuff. Here I'm just going to add tiny bits, and then here, and remember what I said, if you make a dodgy line, make it into something. So different shapes, making it into properly like circles and shapes there. We've got fans there. Here we could just have like patterns here, so that they're just so you know, the patterns are within the shapes, and then we could just have right, this is quite a zigzaggy line, so this, you know, it's reflected in here as well. So we've got a reflected there, it's reflected there, and you know, it doesn't have to, if we put here like that. So the shapes are all reflected in the patterns that we've used. These angular patterns, if you start to just add little bits to them like that, they don't look as sharp. I know they do look sharp, but they don't look as heavy. They just look softer with that design. Can you see? They just softens it all up. So maybe that's what you could do, is just so I've just added some lines to that there. Really enjoying this now. I'm really chilled now. I'm going to do some crochet. I didn't get any crochet done. I had to sit down and write out the pattern, and then I couldn't get it in my head. So I'm determined today. I haven't got a printer that works, like I said about the ink, so I went and got it printed at the shop. Cost a fortune, but I just can't afford the ink at the moment. Right, so just adding the lines in there. I'm going to add some sort of wibbly lines. No, I quite like it without the wibbly lines there, but I do like the idea of having it. Maybe not as much, but just yeah, I like that. Can you see how it's got like a reflection, but they're not as vivid? So just so you don't need heavy patterns in all of them. You just need really tiny little dots. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I've used my studio light as always. I've used two, the Giannini set and the studio light set. I've also used the muted tones with the shades of nature, sorry, and the muted tones with the I have to clean that up. And doobie-doo, showed you my book. So yeah, obviously I've got my Paul Rubens here. I have got some more colours I've got to test out today. So I'm going to test them out later. I'm going to sit down and do the whole testing. Got all of them here. I'm going to get sat down and do some testing with it. Got to check all my stuff because I was out at before 8 this morning, trying to get through the traffic and whatnot. So I didn't get in while 11:30. Having a wander around. It was nice though. It was really, really nice to get out. Can't believe how you know, if you don't get out, you've really got to push yourself, guys, to go out. And I understand because I'm there myself, but it is well worth it. Get yourself out of that rut. I'm not saying you are in it. I don't want anybody jumping on me back. But if you are in a rut like me, then having that time out is brilliant. So anyway, I really enjoyed that. I hope you did. It's really muted again. Not that it doesn't reflect my depression in any way, shape or form. It's just there's time for everything, isn't there? So thank you very, very much. Yes, and I hope you all relax as well. And thank you for your very, very appreciated letters and messages about how it makes you feel. Those messages make me carry on. They give me the inspiration to carry on. So if you do find that you are enjoying this, please share it. Please get people to join, the right sort of people, and let's get our little community, you know, let's get it doing what it is really good at, and that is inspiring each other, and to create and create a wonderful sense of community, a safe community. So I hope you're with me with that. Let's get our moodling community up and going. Do your doodles, let's see what you do, and thanks so much. And and if you could share ideas, get your friends involved and get them moodling, it would help me and my website. So thank you very much. Well, I would, Michael. Go. Absolutely. You do it. I'm just going to go in the room for 10 minutes just to do some testing in my room. And if you go to Junk Journals and Mindful Mixed Media, you'll see across it, you'll see rooms. If you press on Louise's room, I'll be there. There are other rooms there. I'm not too sure what they are. So I think that's where people join and meet up with other moodlers. So yeah, I will see you in 10 minutes. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you to do the Studio Light Butterfly Just Lou collection tomorrow. So bye.